All right. Well, hello and welcome back for our first game of the night here as we are going to have the Boston Peregrine Falcons take on the Buffalo Lake Effect. On your screen, of course, you can see last season's results, which, as we said all week, only so impactful because, again, they are last season, but results are results, and that's what we have for now. Looking at our standing or our schedule first so far, 2 games down. We'll get 2 more in tonight, and you can see a game 4 and a game 5 with an almost reverse sweep there in the middle. So, couple good series. We'll see how much that holds up, but hey, only time can tell. As we can look at our standings, of course, Bedford on top because they won in less games. And that also means KC on the bottom because they lost in less games. And of course, still waiting on all the other results to fill people in. Moving over to our stats, you can see everyone except Adam over on Boston having stats last season. Meanwhile, on the other side, Neo and Crunch not. But Zilch and Mew representing the returning playing side of the league. Of course, Adam, a former manager, and then Neo the same but was non-playing last season, and Crunch a new player. Key player honors do fall to Gamer and Zilch, but again, of course, incomplete stats all around, so it is a little bit hard to say. And as we've said every game, the team averages are kind of like, yeah, I guess they're there. I mean, the team is completely different. Of course, Buffalo, formerly Atlanta, so no overlap there. Pit Cop was on Boston, but hey, that's about where that ends, so really don't mean much, but hey, they're there, and again, they will matter in the upcoming weeks, so they're just there to show something. But yeah, and so I'm interested to see this one. Obviously, usually week 1, we have the finals from the last season opening up week 1 or played as part of week 1. Of course, you have New York Steinhatchee waiting to be played tomorrow in Prism. Okay, cool. Apologies. I made the lobby correctly, but I typed it in the Discord wrong, and so I had to edit that real quick. The first game of the season, I do the date for the password, and I did it with 25, which is last year, so that's not right. And then this time, I made the lobby with 26, but muscle memory when typing in the Discord, I typed 25 again. So that was not quite correct. But now it works. So we have one team in, waiting on the other to join, probably in not too long. But yeah, I'm interested in this one. I think Boston have a really strong team. I was talking about the finals. I was going to say is that obviously Boston aren't playing Luxor, and that's because due to player counts, just for the sake of having a reasonable and with flexibility number of players, Luxor were put on pause this season, of course, alongside LA. And so, as part of that, instead of getting that finals rematch, that can't happen. But Pit Cobb then ends up picking up Bacon, who, of course, was the manager of that team before the pause. So, okay. Cool. I need to send it to a player for Buffalo, and I have done so. And so they should be joining soon now. Okay. I think I had sent it because so the Buffalo manager told me that he was out of town, and so I thought, oh, well, I send it to the other team. But I think at that point he had already forwarded it, and they were already in. But hey, that's all right. So basically the point of everything I was saying was really just, usually we have a finals rematch in week 1. But this season, in Pixel at least, both managers from the finals are on the same team. And that usually doesn't happen. So, interesting to see how they join forces. Of course, no Neo and no Pit Cop in this first game. And I believe it'll at least stay that way in terms of Neo. Pit Cop, meanwhile, did join with his team before dropping out. So we might see him, especially if the series goes south. But as far as a prediction, before things get too far underway, I definitely favor Boston here. Just because, I mean, we've seen the players and we've seen them all look good on their respective teams. Meanwhile, of course, Neo we haven't seen in a while. And Crunch, a new player entirely. So, I favor Boston. I mean, you know, you always just kind of want to go 3-1 because I think that's about how separated these teams are. I don't know if I want to predict a 3-2. I don't know that I want to predict a 3-0. And so as much as it is just kind of like the safe answer, I think Boston should be the better team. But I think Buffalo are a strong enough team. They can take games, or at least one. And that shows at the start as a bit of a slow back and forth. But in the end, it'll be Mew getting the first goal. As he goes up, waits on the follow, and then just about gets that touchdown. It falls right through the right side, and it is 1-0 Buffalo, a minute 15 in. That one now will roll just a little bit wide again. Now up the side wall, Zilch staying with it, dropping it down. Bacon over to the left side. Bacon now following it into the corner again. Played away. Bacon will get another dunk on Crunch's touch. A bit of a miss there. Getting awkward here for Buffalo as this one will center. Gamer able to get to it, but not going to get a whole lot on it. Bacon now again. Zilch one touch away. Adam off the right wall. Re-centered out. Zilch, maybe a bump there. Kind of gets awkward. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of defense for Buffalo, but that's twice in pretty consecutive fashion. That the defense just kind of is forced to play the ball, and it doesn't exactly look clean. As we see a couple misses, maybe a couple team bumps, but hey, doesn't need to matter because it's 2-0. Gamer trying to force it away. Zilch gets the 50, and then speaking of 50s, Crunch right through Adam, right into the net. Bit of a pinch as that one goes through at 122. And just over half the game left to play, but it is starting to look a little bit rough here for Boston as we haven't seen a lot of offense, and then that's just kind of 2 goals that make their way in. Both maybe you could say a little bit lucky in that there wasn't that much setup or a shot, but hey, say the same thing about this one. It doesn't matter. The score is 3-0, and Buffalo just have that lead. Nothing you can take away from it. Crunch just takes control, dribbles straight down the field, and gets a free goal out of it. And now as we have crested that halfway point, Boston need to get going soon. Gamer looking to get it started, but 50'd away by Zilch on the goal line. Crunch now a bit awkward on that one. Demo as well. Bacon into the corner, looking for the read, but it's dunked long by Zilch. That touch now dunked by Zilch again. He'll leave it to Crunch. Shot is wide. Mew is there. It's 4. Buffalo are making it look easy as Boston just don't even touch the ball. Just no defense on that one. No ability to react. It's 1 lost 50, maybe 1 giveaway. And it's immediately in their net as it has been all game. How about 5? Just nothing happening, especially on defense for this team. I mean, none of the goals have even been with a defender in the net. Bacon trying to get one. It looks like it should just be in. And yes, it is. So there is your start. Finally, 5 goals later, Bacon able to bounce one forward. And that goes through. So, there's your start. You are down 4. So, Don't get too comfortable with it, but hey, it is a start. This one's sent downfield again. Mew trying to respond. Does get a good touch up in the air. Now around 50 forward off the post, but Gamer gets the read. Hold on. Not a lot of time for what they need to do, but the momentum is starting to flip. And that's a great finish by Gamer, by the way. That ball bounced back towards midfield. Of course, at a pretty steep angle towards the corner still, but back away from the goal, and he's able to side flip and get the right angle on it. So very clean finish there. But it's 5-2. They still need 3 more. This one's dropping down. Adam gonna get beat. Might have gotten a piece of Zilch. Enough to get a 50 on that one. Bacon able to beat 1, but Mew is on it, and that'll get by Bacon. Now dropping down. Adam in the corner. Oh, so awkward. Everyone missing it. Crunch trying to take his time. As Gamer now pops it up in the air, given the space for a clear to midfield. Crunch will pop it back again. Bacon towards the back wall. Bacon now pops it away again. Mew down to Zilch, up into the corner. Gamer trying to shadow it back. Good demo there by Bacon, but no boost for Gamer, and it's taken away. If nothing else, this is exactly what Buffalo needed. Haven't had that same threat, but hey, they still have a 3-goal lead. They don't need to be pushing goals through. They just need to stop Boston from scoring. And so far, they have done brilliantly, as it's been about another minute since that last Boston goal. And with that, it just feels like this should be game. Zilch will force it back into the corner again. Looking to drop it down. Gamer a high pop across, but that's only playable by Mew. Final 15 dropping down. Bacon another clear. Adam will try. It's just to pop right into the ceiling. Bacon won't connect. And as the ball stays in the corner, Crunch will turn it around to pass it away. The clock will strike zeros, and Buffalo will shock the Peregrine Falcons in this first game. Now, of course, you would be amiss to not point out the fact that it did kind of flip. As, of course, we can't see Adam's shots with what's there currently. It was an 8-6. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam would bring it at least close to even, but point is, even if the shots are even if Adam had 0 and they only got outshot by 2, that's a bad game. Getting outshot like 8-6 or whatever, and getting outscored 5-2 is rough. And that's even if Adam didn't have any shots himself. So I think for Boston, it's pretty clear, as we are going to have Pit Cop stepping in for this second game. It's just kind of pretty obvious. You can't do that. You need a better game than that. Because it felt like they didn't have much of a threat on offense until maybe the last 2 minutes. And then it felt like they didn't have defense. The ball would just get cleared, and randomly there would be no one in net for a free shot. There wasn't any crazy outplays, any big passes, clean shots, anything like that. It just felt like every time Buffalo scored, it was just because, hey, play it towards net, there's no one there, or there's a bad 50, or whatever, and it just goes into an open net. So we will see as Pitt tries to bounce this one away, but it's a good 50 to the side by Crunch. Zilch now waiting behind it, playing the challenge again, off the left wall. Mew looking for a 50, but it's won by Boston, off the back wall. Pitt making the difference. Boston take the first lead of game 2. He 50s it up, waits for the touch, and drops it right through. Double tap there. Hey, absolutely. And it's an early lead here for Boston. And of course, that's exactly what they need, starting off that rough game to start out the series. That is a bit of an interesting pull shot, I believe, as Buffalo were able to get it away for the moment, but now Boston surged right back in. This one down off the ceiling. Pitt not able to reach it. That'll allow Crunch some space. Bacon looking for a good 50 though, and Pitt That doink will set up maybe an attack, although Zilch does have a good response to it. Buffalo now trying to push in. Crunch, another one up off the corner. Zilch just keeping it awkward, making them use boost, and it does translate into a double commit. But unfortunately for Buffalo, Crunch's touch just into the corner, although another lucky 50 almost keeps that streak going, but this time there is a defender there to save it, and so Boston will hold on to their lead. Now Pitt trying to drop it down again. This one cleared away. Gamer getting it away again, looking for a shot. Zilch, that catch is going a bit of the wrong way, and so he won't be able to get his corner boost. That gives up some space to Boston, but no shot comes through, and you will get another good clear away. Taking now another one down. Zilch trying to take it back. Down off the ceiling here. Zilch just flies over that one. Not exactly what he wanted. Gamer now playing it away. This one down off the crossbar, but we have really slowed down here. I mean, especially compared to the last game where I feel like Buffalo had at least 3 or 4. They might have even gotten their 5th goal at this point in the game. And now it's 1-0. And I think that's a much more comfortable position for Boston. As of course they are holding on to their lead, playing it back and forth. And I mean, kind of like we said with Buffalo last game, just kind of wasting away at it, as Bacon will get a shot here though, and he will not miss it. That one straight down into the bottom right corner, and Bacon adds on. Off the sidewall here, Bacon looking for another shot. This time Mew is there, but only one, but Crunch. No boost, just in the right place, able to get that one away. Now played forward again, Bacon off the left wall. This one dunked away by Pitcop. Off the sidewall again, Zilch trying to get up early. Back down off the ceiling, Zilch just staying with it. That one pinches out, will give maybe a chance for Mew. Bacon will get a touch to make it awkward, but now he does the same to Pitcop, and so Boston a little bit stunted, but they will eventually get it away. Pitt now up towards the ceiling, pass down off the back wall, well read by Buffalo, as that'll force a clear all the way downfield. Now a heavy touch by Bacon, won't allow a catch, but he gets a good 50 to follow it. Now out into the corner, Pitt trying to center. Crunch will get it away. It is right at Gamer though. Pop towards net. Zilch gets the save. 1 minute to go. Still a 2-goal Peregrine Falcon lead. As this one's banged up off the back wall, dropping down. Bacon's shot is high. It might be a pass, but Gamers does the same as it dings off the crossbar again. Pitt, that one I believe is high as well, as it'll bounce straight down, but not in. Bacon trying to pass it back. Gamer, hey, maybe some training packs, Boston. You might benefit from a couple of them, because that was like at least 5 crossbars in a row, I want to say. I mean, hey, they are still holding on to their lead, but, you know, as okay. Charity, they get it back. Pitcop doesn't need boosts. As long as he doesn't have the boost for a strong shot, it can go on target. As he just muscles that one forward, and it's just about strong enough to get by the defense. So that does make it 3-0. And with 20 seconds left to go, shouldn't be much of a chance here for Buffalo to get it back. We have a little bit of an awkward moment in the corner, but that'll benefit Boston as Gamer looks for a pass. Both players jump. Neither of his teammates can get there, though, so Gamer forced to go back, but the time will run out. So even though this one does go in, I will say it's looking pretty unlikely. I think it's technically possible. But basically not. It is incredibly difficult to get a goal in 1 second, and it will not happen. Of course, if there's anyone going for the kickoff, they're going to be able to shut that one down. But it is technically possible, as they outshoot this time 13-2. What? What is that? Now, of course, again, 3 goals on 13 shots. You got to work on that one. But 13-2, and yet the game was like fairly close. That feels like it kind of represents what we just watched. And yet it's still insane. As we get ready to load into our third game here. As we said, definitely a much better, more controlled scrim there. Or what? I'm reading the chat and it's confusing me. My bad. Much more controlled game there. I'm reading Panda and Brand adding Pixel Scrim in the chat. And it's kind of getting me lost, but all good. As in the later part of game 1, you saw the momentum start to turn where Boston get those 2 goals back. And then, of course, it kind of just slows down and gets more even within the last minute. And that really continued into game 2, except with Pitcop on the field. Boston were able to have the advantage in that slower game. And so we'll see, of course, for Buffalo, 2 shots won't win you a game very often. So we need to see them break out more, get more offense, and really just, of course, get goals on the board, because you aren't going to win without them. This is off the side wall, up in the air, looking for the touchdown, but not going to be there. No. This one played away again. Pitcop looking for the touch forward. It's just over Mew. Now off the corner again. Bacon is there. 1-0. Boston, we're gonna get first blood for the second game in a row. Crunch trying to get there for the 50, but not quite enough there. Quick response shot there by Mew, but Gamer, of course, in the net, able to respond to it. Now Gamer diving forward again. This one pushed over to the corner. Garrett looking for the touch forward. Panda, that's terrible. Now towards the corner again. Mew trying to pass it away, but no one there for a shot. Now this one cleared long downfield. Pitt chasing it down. Gets a pass across. Bacon the pop, but too slow on the shot, and Crunch does get the touch away. Bacon now up in the air looking for a 50. Won't get much, but he's able to catch and get another. Bouncing out off the corner. Zilch not able to, and neither will Pitt. That opens up space for Mew. Now off the right side again. This one dropping down. Bacon up off the right wall, trying to go towards the net, but Zilch will dive back in time. Pitt not able to get a piece of that one either, as Gamer will now play it downfield. Bacon diving in. It's off the back wall. Pitt puts it high again. This time, Bacon gets it through. Just a clean finish from Bacon. And hey, Pitcop's touch was so far off target that he didn't get credited with a shot. And so we can call it a pass. Maybe it was intentional. Didn't seem like it, but hey. Now this one dropping down. Played over to the right side again. Bacon will send it downfield. Zilch over to the left wall. Pitt up around the corner looking for a read. Runs out of boost. Almost gets another 50, but Crunch will get it away without an opposing touch. Crunch now trying to get it towards net, but Bacon a good clear away. Zilch even on the 50. Crunch past midfield looking to play it in, but again, Gamer just gets there first. Now down into the corner. This one dropping down. Zilch won't double. Mew diving. Gamer is there. Pitt no touch though, and Crunch can keep the offense going for Buffalo. Under half the game left to go here. Still just a 2-0 shutout for Boston. Definitely still feels a lot more like game 2. As we have those few goals on the board and a lot of Boston control. As you see, 0 shots there on Crunch. I believe it was 4 on Bacon when we were on his perspective. 2 more on Gamer. Make it 3 more with that one. So pretty clear that there's gonna be a discrepancy in terms of shots once again, at least with how the game has progressed thus far. Now, no shots on Pitt. So hey, it's not everyone getting involved so far, but still, at least on those two players, Boston really forcing it forward, putting it on target. And, I mean, Crush had 0, Zilch had 0, haven't seen Mew, but Pitt gets one more credited, but this time it's pinched away. The woodwork cannot catch a break from Boston, and neither can they from it. Fortunately for them, they are still ahead in the game, but I mean, it's kind of rough for the Falcons shooting, so let's see if they can lock that one down. Gamer chasing this one down, but Zilch will take control. Trying to get it downfield. This one played around the corner. Zilch hunting for a demo, not going to find anything. Popped across, Bacon uncontested on the clear. Zilch shadowing it back, has to let it go. Now 50 to cross towards the net. But Zilch, a good dribble and a good challenge, will get it downfield. 40 seconds left to go. Pitt pop away, Zilch is there. Maybe the first shot of the game for all of Buffalo there, but it's just saved away. Dropping down, Gamer trying to get it downfield, as Mew did also have one shot. So that was Zilch's first, the team's second. And of course, nothing doing on that one. And so as the time runs down, 15 seconds left to go for the second game in a row, Buffalo are being held to just 2 shots. This time they are being shut out as Boston get blown out in game 1, but they have slowed it down and suffocated Buffalo in the next 2, and they are 1 away from a series win. Now up 2-1 in the series, finally positive 7-6 in goals as they outshoot 10-2. So clearly not as good as the, I believe, 13-2 from the last game, but hey, they won. As again, 20% shooting for Boston as a team. Now, to be fair, that's 40% on Bacon. Got to give him his credit. 0% on the other two. But yeah, I mean, it just looks rough for Buffalo. I think when Adam was in, Boston just looked out of place. But since they've brought in Pitcop, that has just changed. It has felt like we said, the game has just slowed down, but that is completely in the favor of Boston. They are the only team getting shots. Now, Buffalo are getting it downfield a couple times. They are pushing it towards the corners, but they can't get any further than that. And so then Boston just get there for a 50, another clear away, and hey, there you go. Not even a shot to defend. And then, of course, on the other end of the field, you can say what you want about their shooting, but as of now, hasn't really came back to bite them. Because again, they aren't giving the other team chances to score, and so they don't need to get all of theirs. Zilch up off the backboard here. Gamer gonna get a free clear on that one. Mew has the boost, but not gonna be able to use it as Pitt dunks it away. Zilch turning, has control. Bacon now up in the air again, looking for a 50. It'll go out to the left side. Pitt now trying to drop this one down. Gamer looking for a play. Zilch will force it over to the side. Zilch now under it, up towards the ceiling, dropping down. That one forward and in. That could be the change they need. Zilch centers it. Crunch redirects it through. A bit of a doink there. And the Lake Effect are going to get first blood here in the Coliseum. And that, as we said, could be what they need. Still a lot of time left to play, a lot of room for Boston to get it back, but after they've been suffocated... Don't go in. Okay, Zilch is there. After they've been suffocated so much in these past 2 games, getting that early goal, that early lead could be really big for them, as Pitt will misread that one just a little bit. result in there not being any shots, although he recovers for a demo. That'll allow Bacon to keep the pressure on. Bacon another 50 up high in the air. Gamer up early to the backboard again. It bounces straight down, but Mew gets the touch to the side. Pit Cop now forward. This one up towards the ceiling. Gamer on it. Drops it down. Crunch now back up in the air. Mew looking for the touch. Getting it downfield. Now Bacon another clear away. Bacon downfield. This one up in the air. Played across and then dropped down off the back wall. Now Mew trying to get it away. This one down into the corner. Zilch back around. Bacon gonna get beat to that one. Zilch now dropping it down again. Gamer will pop it back up. Crunch over to the wall. Zilch is there, won't get a touch, and now Pitt trying to play into the man advantage, just bangs it towards net, but Mew a good response clear. Bacon, though, a good control touch, and the 50 is denied by Zilch. Pit Cop now playing it around. Gamer trying to reach this one, gets one touch out. Zilch now off the right side. Down, Bacon the clear forward. It'll bounce out off the corner. Pit Cop into the corner, bouncing around. Mew the 50 away. Now up in the air again. Bacon trying to get it forward. Back down. Crunch will get one touch away. We've settled back into that same slower, low-scoring gameplay, but of course, it's a bit of a role reversal, as I think the pressure has still favored Boston. But look at the scoreboard. Still that 1-0 lead for Buffalo. And so as long as they're holding that lead, they're okay with the even state of play. As this one bounces out. Pitt is there, but the shot instead goes out for a throw-in as it's way out into the corner. Taking now a big 50 back. It'll be Pitt to turn. That touch completely lateral, though, and Gamer gets bumped. Pitt now thinking about going, but Zilch there, and he's uncontested. Taken out into the left corner. Pitt has to leave it off. Crunch just going direct, but Gamer is there. Gamer now into the corner. No touch on that. Bacon is there. Both posts and out. It'll stay 1-0. Bacon going for the tough shot. Won't get it, and now Gamer is 50 away. I believe that might have been Crunch, who comes up huge for his team. Pitt trying to win it forward again. Bacon gets a demo, but not going to get the ball afterwards. Gamer now popping it out again. Crunch looking for the 50 down. This one up towards the ceiling. Zilch will drop it back down. Pitt Cop down off the ceiling. Gamer going to backflip away. Bacon now towards the corner. Down off the ceiling again. Zilch, a bit of a pinch with his teammate there. That could get awkward for the defense, but that touch from Bacon a little bit wayward, as it'll just float into the corner. Pit Cop now trying to force it around, though, and it's another big 50 saved by Crunch. Bacon now to the left wall where Pitt's already waiting. Boston desperately looking to tie this game, but they have been denied time after time. Bacon will drop it down. Not enough. The pinch does get scary, but it does not go in. Crunch now given space. Pops it up in the air. Doesn't have a lot of boost, so he will have to leave it. Zilch now knocks it over to the side, but Gamer's already there. Bang up around the corner, but the problem with the corner is it's too slow, too telegraphed, and Buffalo get back in time. Bacon now down into the corner. Almost skipped off Pitt, but not quite. Crunch plays it over to the side. Bacon trying to get there. Low boost for Boston. Bacon drops it down. Crunch the touch away. Pitt can't get it. And we are going the distance. And now the shooting bites. They outshoot 8-5. They get outscored 1-0. As Boston just can't get anything in the net. They can't get enough pressure. And so they can't close out the series. And now they gotta go the whole way. Game number 5. Like our third in the last 2 days. As we ended with our third straight series that goes to game 5 even. But the favorites have won the last 2. Will Boston do it again, or can Buffalo shut them down? Bacon over to the left wall, looking to play it away. Gets a good double on it. Fortunately for him, only Zilch ready to react to it. Pitcop now up off the right side. This one dropping down, looking for the catch and the pass back. Bacon now up off the left wall. Crunch dropping this one down. Now Bacon another shot. It'll bounce around the outside. Pitcop trying to play it forward. Mew will drop it back down. Gamer straight up in the air. Bacon off the bar, but his opponent triple taps it in for him. Bacon gives Boston an early lead. Crunch, he jumps for the save. What can he do? Just has to sit there and watch it happen. As this one around the outside, played away right at Gamer. It's off the bar again. Bacon up in the air, way high of the net. Gamer now looking for a pass out, trying to get it there, but no one there to get it to. Zilch will get a free clear off it, and a double. That'll beat another, and a shot, but Bacon's ready for that one. Gamer up early, Mew beats him to it. Bacon up to the sidewall. Mew won't be able to jump, so Bacon will get another touch. Off the back wall, no clear. Shot is good. Gamer doubles the advantage. No clear on that one, and finally the shot is on target. Boston lead by multiple. Gotta say, you see people in chat talking about Falcons don't look very good. They don't look bad. They just gotta bear their chances. I think kind of the main thing to me is that Boston don't look fast. And maybe they get that down. They kind of get more into it, whatever. But especially for Bacon and the teams he's had the last few seasons, and then, of course, Pitcop, who has usually had a Nerd Justin or a Chance. It's a real change of pace for these players that they just don't have the same speed. And I feel like that's kind of what has caused these games to be what they are. As we'll pause on that for a moment, because Gamer has another goal. It is 3-0 as Mew just can't quite get that touch, and so Gamer just walks it in. It just feels like for these teams, and honestly often for the best pixel teams, they just suffocate you with speed. They're so hard to play against because they just go so fast that you need to play like perfect or respond to them or try to outspeed them, and that's just really hard to do. They almost border into more of a Prism playstyle. And, of course, you can have a good team without that, especially if you can take advantage of your chances or get pressure, as we have seen from Boston. But I think that's kind of why they've looked less dominant, and in part why they've struggled more. Even if you're getting all these shots, if you are a little bit slower in getting to them, that does give the defense a bit more time to recover for them. And then, of course, hitting the woodwork every time won't help either. But on the other side, it's been a pretty good battle from Buffalo. I think at times they've definitely benefited from the mistakes of Boston in this series, but they've looked pretty good and they've forced it. Now, unfortunately, with 2 minutes left to go, it's not looking very good because Bacon has another. He's given the turtle goal, and it is 4-0 as Pitt hits it off the post. Mew trying to clear it away. The 50s have just been in Boston's favor this game. You see a couple, maybe an own goal on an awkward jump. You see a bad 50, you said whatever. It's kind of just the same thing, Kellen. This is kind of how it's been all game, except this time, you're kind of seeing the quote-unquote luck go in their favor. Game 1, the luck was very much against them. They lose 5-2. This game, it's very much for them, as they're getting good forces, good chances, good shots. And then in the middle, you kind of saw, the middle, where they are getting their chances, but they aren't burying their shots. And so it translates to a slow, close game. but they don't want anything of the like here, as it is just 5-0. It is getting out of hand here, if it wasn't already, as there are 90 seconds left to go, and it is a 5-goal lead for the Falcons. And so it appears, for the third time in a row, we go the distance, and for the third time in a row, the favorite might just close it out. And of course, that is the favorite from my prediction. Preseason, you don't have any true favorite results-based whatever, but I mean, that's how it goes. And again, good fight for Buffalo, and if nothing else, this does help their game diff to take it to 5. That'll put them probably above quite a few teams when you go to the overall standings. But end of the day, loss is a loss, so they will have to reset to the drawing board, as Buffalo are going to play Daytona next week, and that is a tough team. You want to talk about speed? That's Daytona. You got Cozy and Aiden, and then both Romeo and Garboys we saw in their game last night also stepping up and looking pretty good. So that'll be a tough one for Buffalo, but we'll see how they look in that one. Meanwhile, for Boston, it got a little bit close. It got a little bit rough. But hey, in the same way a loss is a loss, a win is a win. As the time will run down to 0, and the Boston Peregrine Falcons are going to close it out with a 3-2 Game 5 victory in dominant fashion, winning it 5-0 on that final game. You can see their shots getting 12 on the board. I would guess a lot less for Buffalo, but again, with the lobby leaves, can't say quite for certain. But either way, the result is the result. As we are going to ask about an interview, I assume that we will have one, but hey, we will see. We ask, and we are going to have one, and so we will be back in just 1 minute with the winning team. And we are back with Boston. Another Game 5, but another win. How does it feel for you guys to start the season with a win?
Absolute stunning match.
Yeah, that's a tough series.
Yeah. What do you think?
Especially without Neo. I was surprised. They did really well.
What do you think changed from Game 1 to 2? Do you think you guys just kind of more controlled, kind of calmed it down once Pitt came in, or was there a bigger change there?
I mean, there's certainly a play style difference between Pitt and Adam. And I think that's just what it is. We've had success with both lineups, and it was just the way that Buffalo was playing. It worked out better with Pitt in.
And why do you think you guys were struggling so much to score? Was it just bad shooting, or was it just kind of like not very strong chances?
Bad shooting.
Okay.
Me personally.
It's got to be their defense. Give it to them, all right?
I mean, 2 for 13 in like it was 3 for 13 into like 2 for 10, I think.
Yeah,
In
but
games 2
look
and
at the
3.
control, because like there were 2 games there
True.
where I think they had less than 2 shots.
They had 2 shots, 2 games in a row, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and in
like
a 2-game period, so game 1 they scored 5 goals on us. Games 2 and 3 they scored a combined 1 goal.
Yep.
Complete change. A 180.
So yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep that control, I mean, the shots are going to be high. I mean, it only takes 1 to win the game if you can stop them. So
Absolutely.
easy peasy.
And I think that was the thing too. Game 4, the one we did lose, once I was in, was very much they scored a goal in the first 24 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we were just pelting their net the entire rest of the game. We just couldn't put it in for whatever reason. So we collected ourselves, took it in Game 5, 5-0, and I think we kind of fixed our problems after that. So, a good series. Glad it went to 5, and we're excited for next week.
Absolutely, and I'll make that a 2-part question because you guys do play Vancouver next week. So first of
Ooh,
all, I'll ask,
Boomer.
they play the next game right after this against Madison. How do you think that one goes? And then how do you feel about next week?
Madison sweep 3-0. Not even a chance.
Who's on Madison?
That's crazy.
That's
Panda,
the team we
Madison-
just
Panda
scrimmed.
brand
Yeah, we
Honda
scrimmed them.
shade.
Uh,
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest. I hope Madison takes
yeah.
it seriously. There were some times in the scrim it felt like they weren't. Because I mean, I've said it for seasons now. Like Boomer's going to put together a team that has chemistry. If you're trying to troll, that team's going to punish you. So I hope it's a good series. But I mean, naturally, we got to have confidence in ourselves next week against them, right?
Oh,
Especially without
100%.
seeing them yet. Yeah, I mean, I put us up against anybody.
Hey man, Boomer took my first round pick this season, so
Mm.
you know what? For his sake, I hope he beats us.
Beats us?
Well,
You're
if
out.
he
You're
if he
out.
loses,
Voting. Any
Pitt-
owners watching? We're
Pitt's
about to have a
not
meeting.
going to throw. He just hopes he loses.
Hey man, Boomer's always been my rival. He's always been that guy who somehow gets the best of me. You know, lost to him in season 1 playoffs, and him and Stewie took it all. And then Stewie reared his ugly head again in season 2. But
Okay, but you
we're
do
not gonna
have
get into
Bacon on
that.
your team.
I know.
that's
you
a-
have
that's a help.
You have two managers that both have a title under their belt, and you know what? We faced off together in the last 2 seasons, so you know what? Me and Bacon, Gamer, and Adam, I think we got ourselves a very good team. Still a lot of kinks to work out, but I think we got that speed and consistency that I think will bring it a lot more that some teams just won't be ready for.
I still can't believe you said you hope we lose next week.
Bring it
We
on
lose
the
next week,
pod.
you better drop me for defame. Tell you that.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, that can be requested.
Yeah, if he requests it, he requests it. I can't stop him.
You also don't have to trade him, though, or drop him.
Nah,
So you can hold him
I'm not
hostage.
mean.
Listen, I got new games out on the Switch. I'll just retire.
Gets his games in and just retires. I love it.
WWE
no,
just
he
came
just-
out. I got to make 8-bit people.
Listen,
in
you-
WWE, the new one.
You better win next week, or you might have an empty spot for Defame to fill.
Oh, damn. Okay.
We're
Fair
just
enough.
not gonna lose, so it's fine.
Nah.
True.
So real series score. I mean, Panda has his boys. He has what? Honda and Bran.
Yep, and
I
Shade.
think those guys. Well, yeah, exactly. They got a good team there. So shout out to Panda and those guys for the scrim. Thank you. And I'm excited to see what they do. I think it's going to be 3-1 for Monarchs, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boomer wins it. He always
3-0.
has a great team.
Panda's gonna score all the goals.
Yeah, I'll go 3-2 Monarchs. I think it'll go 5.
Who bet 60K channel points on this? Was that Shade?
That was Shade.
Shout out Shade,
That was Shade.
our guy. I mean,
Yeah,
I put
Boomer,
in
and you-
25.
And you
He was more
scheduled your
confident.
game for 10, so lock in.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else for you, Doggo, thank you
No,
again.
that's
Yeah,
about all I
thanks for
have.
casting.
So congratulations and good luck next week.
Till next time.
All right, and that will do it for our first game of the night. Yeah, I said I agreed that we would play yours as soon as, like, pretty quickly after the last one ended. And the last one ended maybe 5 minutes ago. And so we wrap this up. We go offline. Cozy will start. I'll tell him to have a bit of an abbreviated beginning, and then you go. Anyway, though, that will do it for our first game of the night. As we're talking about, we do have one more to follow it, as Madison will take on Vancouver. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. But your final score here, one last time, Boston 3, Buffalo 2. We'll see you back very shortly for the next game of the night.